For you guys, we'll go halfway. You guys, whoop, you're on loserland.
One thing I love doing on my channel is analyzing and breaking down the advice given by so-called MLM gurus. For those that don't know, MLM gurus, or they're sometimes called MLM trainers, are people that sell training courses on how to build successful MLM businesses. There are actually a lot of MLM gurus out there because people have realized they can make a lot more money by teaching other people how to do MLM than they can make by actually doing MLM themselves. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you're probably very aware of the fact that over 99.7% of those in MLM make no money or actually lose money. MLM gurus often sell extremely overpriced training courses. Sometimes they sell books on how to build your MLM business, and many of them give speeches at various conferences around the world. I've covered some of the larger MLM gurus on my channel so far, people like Eric Worre and Tim Sales, but I recently stumbled across a guy named Fraser Brooks, who advertises himself as the network marketing ninja. It's important to note before we proceed that network marketing is just another term for multi-level marketing. Many in the MLM industry are trying to normalize the term network marketing instead of MLM because nowadays the term MLM is associated with a lot of negative press and is also associated with the rise of the anti-MLM movement. They're basically trying to rebrand themselves, but network marketing and MLM both refer to the same thing. I found a speech that Fraser Brooks gave at Eric Worre's Go Pro event back in 2019, and I found his speech very interesting because he basically says that if you're not recruiting, then you're a loser. So I thought it would be fun today for us to sit down and react to this speech together. As a disclaimer, Fraser's entire speech isn't publicly available. I could only find his speech broken into 5 different several-minute segments, so it's possible there's things from his speech that I'm missing that would provide further context. That being said, I felt like what is available of his speech provides enough context for me to get the gist of what he's saying, so I personally feel comfortable responding to it. With the disclaimer out of the way, let's get to listening to Fraser's speech.
So, treat everyone like a someone. Treat everyone like a someone. That's the key to network marketing and on social media. Turn strangers into friends, friends into family.
What he actually means is treat everyone like a prospect. He's basically saying here that whenever you meet someone new, you should automatically start thinking about how you can recruit them into your MLM. The problem with this mentality is that it incentivizes those in MLMs to seek out new friendships, not for the friendship itself, but for the potential profit they can make from signing them up for the scheme. I also really don't like how he uses the term family, as though people you recruit into your MLM are your family. Your chosen family ties should be relationships you've built up with individual people simply because you enjoy being with them and spending time with them, and it's not dependent on what you can get from them. In MLMs, you make money off of your downline and your upline makes money off of you. And these supposed relationships become predicated and really defined by what you can get monetarily from each other. This type of relationship dynamic is unhealthy for friendships, let alone for family. It's really interesting because in Robert Fitzpatrick's new book, Ponzinomics, he discusses how prior to the rise of the MLM industry, poaching your friends and family for business opportunities was kind of a faux pas. For example, when Charles Ponzi's scheme, which is the originator of the term Ponzi scheme, when it collapsed, the public was absolutely appalled that he had solicited funds from his friends, family, and closest associates, who all subsequently lost money in the scheme's collapse. But over recent decades, the MLM industry has successfully convinced people that not only is recruiting friends and family into these schemes socially acceptable, but it's something that's almost commendable. They've convinced people that they're helping their friends and family out by recruiting them, when in reality, they're doing the exact opposite.
Woohoo! This is a network marketing family right now. So here we go. I want to introduce you to the journey of success in network marketing done on social media. Are you excited for this? You ready for this? All right. So right now on the screen, there are two lands. We have loser land, and we have success land. Now, if you guys, we'll go halfway. You guys, whoop, you're on loser land. You guys, success land. Now, here's the thing, guys. How much network marketing experience did I have when I started?
I do have to say he is very entertaining and enthusiastic. Also, I do really like his suit. I'm not gonna lie.
Guess how much you had? How many customers did you have, Fraser, when you first started? How many did you have? I don't know about you, but if you play any sport and you get a big fat 0, guess what that means? We all start on loser land. So here's the thing, your successful upline and mentor is over on success land. You just joined. Come on, just jump. It's really easy. Just post this, do this live, do this story. It's really add into a group, tag someone, message them. But everyone on loser land is just looking down at what's directly in front of them, and they see the sharks, the piranhas, the crocodiles, and think, yeah, nah. But it's really easy, just jump. It's gonna take me a while, isn't it? Nah. So you have to do a certain number of activities to make your own bridge.
So if I'm getting this right, he's saying that if you haven't recruited anyone, if you don't have any customers for your MLM business, then you're a loser living in loser land. Again, I have a big problem with the terminology he's using, but he's using terms like loser strategically. MLMs, or product-based pyramid schemes, are only sustained by the influx of cash from the continuous recruitment of people into the lower levels of the scheme. And one of the best ways to motivate people to keep recruiting is by telling them that they're a loser if they don't. But are you really a loser for not having recruited anyone or for not having customers? Let's just strip the MLM aspect away for a second. Let's say that you just launched your new small business. Let's say you're selling homemade jewelry on Etsy. Are you a loser if you don't have any customers yet? No. You're just a new small business owner that hasn't seen growth yet. He uses the term loser specifically because he knows it will elicit emotions like shame and guilt from his audience, who will then feel like they need to go out and recruit a bunch of people and sell a bunch of starter kits so that they're not perceived as a loser, which will in turn make the MLM company itself a whole lot of money. I think he's going to now talk about how to recruit people, so let's keep watching.
Step number 1 is you need to ensure that your list is growing daily. Make some noise if you've ever made a list when you first started network marketing. Woo! For those of you who didn't make noise, write a list tonight. Now here's the thing, my first list when I started was 137 people on the list. And I looked at my list and went, I'm gonna be free, I'm gonna be rich. So guess what? I picked up the phone, contacted the first person on the list. No, sounds like a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, because MLMs are product-based pyramid schemes. The underlying structure of both MLMs and traditional pyramid schemes is the same. Those who join the scheme early on are compensated from the investments of those who join later. It's all about recruiting. The products in MLMs don't really matter. MLMs just use the products to hide their true nature.
Third, no. And I started to sense this feeling of frustration. Has anyone ever felt frustrated before? And that frustration turned into desperation. Please join, I'll even pay for your starter pack. And the more frustrated I got, the more desperate I got, frustration turns into desperation, which turns into network marketing castration. Guess what happens when you're castrated? You can't duplicate. So here's the thing. If your list is dying, your business has a limit. If your business is growing, your business has no limit. And if your business has no limit, your income can have no limit.
Okay, so this claim that you can have unlimited income in MLM is really just not true. MLMs like to push this idea that you're only limited by how much effort you put into your business, and they completely ignore the fact that there are limits imposed by the market itself. Things like the actual demand for the product you sell, how many people are already selling your same product and meeting some of that demand, how many people you can reasonably expect to recruit into your downline. All of these things can and will limit your income. You're not going to find unlimited income simply by wanting it more or by working really hard. This line of thinking is fallacious, and it's just not how a market economy works. It's unicorns and fairy tales.
So who wants a no-limit business? Who wants an unlimited business? All right, I'm in the right room. So go to these places, go to people who have the same passions as you, interests as you, influencers. Find them, add them, and message them. It's not, oh, I found Bob in a dog lovers group. I'm going to add Bob, and then I'm going to pray to Mr. and Mrs. Universe. Please, Mr. and Mrs. Universe, please let Bob see my friend request. Message me after seeing 3 of my Facebook lives asking me to join at the top business pack. That's like going to a pub and just going and standing next to someone and just going, no, you speak first. Please, Mr. and Mrs. Universe, please see them. No. You have to find, add, message someone. What do you message? Join my business, it's the best. Best compensation plan ever. What's a compensation plan? No. Connect with them.
Is he really telling his audience to go and meet people who share their common interests so that they can eventually message them with their MLM pitch? Does he not realize how problematic that is? He's basically telling people to pretend to be friends with someone under the guise of sharing common interests, but with the actual end goal of recruiting them into their MLM. I mean, in my opinion, this is purposeful deceit. You should be making friends with people because you enjoy their company and have common interests you want to share with them, not just because you hope to make money off of them.
So first step, I'm on Loserland. Step number 1, find, add, message. Now here's the thing, you've taken the first step across Loserland. Remember guys, you're on Loserland. What I want you to do is I want you to say, don't do it. Don't do it. Now if you're on Success Land, I want you to say, go for it. Don't do it. Here's the thing. I'm closer to Loserland, so it's louder in my head. So who do I listen to? Okay. I won't do it. I shouldn't be finding and adding and messaging strangers. That's just weird, isn't it? Meanwhile, Successland, they're going to Bora Bora on an all-expenses-paid trip. Woohoo! Yeah, but I like going to the same pub on the same night with the same people buying the same drinks. No. Find, add, message. Second step is you need to see if the person is open. You have to ask permission, right? Otherwise it's spam. Hey, I know you may or may not be interested, but here's my link anyway. So I want to introduce you to a concept called Messenger Mountain. Now the goal of the mountain is for you to get to the top. And to get to the top, you have to ask the question. Hey, just curious, would you be open to checking out some more information? No worries if not. There's 2 ways of doing it. There is the direct way, and there is the relationship building way. Now, notice this comes after you've connected with someone. So the direct way is shorter, but it's steeper. Now, when the steepness comes, there's a lack of momentum, but there's also what's known as rejection rocks. So you find, add, message, you connect with someone, and then you get to the point like, hey, the only reason why I've added you and messaged you is because I want to see if you're open to this business. That's totally cool to do that, but expect that people are going to give you more rejection. You've got to have thick skin. Whereas the relationship building side, you feel like you could do it in your flip-flops. My Aussie friends, your thongs. I know, right? Right? You feel like you could just keep walking, like, oh, this is easy. I found out where they live. I found out what they do for a living. I know what they do in the part-time. I know what they do for this. I know what their dreams are. Great. But you're going to meet the monster of the mountain. And the monster of the mountain is that really awkward feeling you have where you're like, I've known this person for 72 years now, met her on MySpace, and now I've got to see if she's open. So, hey Betty, just curious, would you be open to checking out some information on an exciting project I'm a part of? No worries if not. That's why you added me on MySpace 72 years ago. How could you? Our friendship's over.
He's trying to sound like he's being hyperbolic with the whole Betty persona, but the truth is this is a completely normal response to have when you find out your friend, who you thought you had a genuine relationship with, only became friends with you because they wanted to rope you into their pyramid scheme. You're completely justified in ending a relationship with someone if you find out they were just using you the whole time.
You have to ask the question. Build a little bit of relationship, ask the question. Or don't build a relationship and ask the question. In order to grow, you've got to find your flow. So, step number 3 is objections. So you find someone, you add them, you message them, you see if they're open. The majority of people are either going to ghost you or say, I'm not interested. Right? Ghosting, we'll come to that in a second. So recently I was on a flight from Frankfurt to Manchester. I was on a Ryanair flight, and I was sat on 11C. And I noticed, you go up in the air, it goes bing, and the air hostesses, they get out, they're always happy, depending on the airlines, but Ryanair, they're always like, oh yeah, this is great, can't wait, get the little trolley. And they start kind of wheeling around, wheeling up and down, and they go, would you like a tea or coffee? No, okay. Would you like a tea or coffee? No. Okay. Would you like a tea or coffee? Yeah. How much are they? £5. £5? Look at too expensive. Okay. Does the air hostess go down and go, pilot, Mr. Jones in 3E just said the coffee was too expensive, what do I do? Have you ever seen that before? No. So why are you doing it?
Okay, so he doesn't really connect this very well, but he's using this whole air hostess analogy to describe how MLM reps commonly face objections when they're trying to get people to join their team or sell people on their MLM products. Objections such as the products are too overpriced. If I understand correctly, he's saying that reps shouldn't blame the MLM company when they receive these types of objections. Just like an air hostess shouldn't blame the pilot if a passenger doesn't want to buy a cup of coffee because it's too expensive. First off, I used to work in the airline industry, and his whole air hostess analogy doesn't make any sense because the pilots don't determine how much concessions are going to cost in the first place. That's a decision that would be made by the airline itself. So, of course, no one has ever seen a flight attendant asking one of the pilots what to do because a passenger thinks the coffee is too overpriced. But I get the point he's trying to make. Secondly, if you're a true small business owner and you're having trouble getting customers and the common complaint is overpriced products, that would be an indication that maybe your price point is not realistic for your customer demographic. You may need to start marketing towards those who are willing to spend a little bit more, or you may need to see if there's any way you can reduce the retail price for your products. The problem when it comes to MLMs is that their so-called business owners don't get to decide how much to sell the products for. This is a decision that is made by the MLM company, and their reps must sell the products for that price. So here, Fraser is basically saying that the MLM company gets to have all the decision-making power, and the MLM reps aren't allowed to question any of the decisions being made. This is a classic MLM tactic where the MLM company is portrayed as this absolute authority that is unquestionable and blameless. And so if a rep is having trouble recruiting or selling, It can't possibly be a flaw in the company itself, and it must be because the rep is doing something wrong.
The fourth step and last step is the tool. Don't be a fool, use a tool. So add tag message, use a group, Zoom presentations, whatever it might be. Then most people, they will add someone into the group, they'll tag them in the video, and then they will message to follow up. That's fine. But to give yourself a better chance of winning, why not do the lives, the stories, and the posts? Now, I've noticed a common theme that seems to be working a lot with the influencers these days is use a good photo with a large amount of copy, like a lot of text. Because you might be thinking, oh yeah, but every time I do that, I get like 3 likes and 2 comments. Yeah, but the people who are commenting, they read the whole flipping thing. They just spent 5 minutes reading your essay. Now, what should it be? Share your struggles before you share your successes. Share the story before the glory. Share the mess before the message. Show the test before the testimonial. There's a big difference in going, hey, I've just bought me new red Ferrari. And you've got a picture of you all over it like that, soaped up. Big difference of you, instead of you saying like, today's the day I finally got my dreams came true. I never thought it was going to happen as a kid. In fact, as a kid, I used to carry around a toy red Ferrari, and my mum, whenever I left the house, my mum would not let us leave the house without the toy Ferrari because she knew I would cry the house down if we left. Today's the day I bought my new red Ferrari, blah, blah, blah. People, when they look at success posts, they go, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. What an idiot. You can use your imagination there. People, when they see a struggle post, they relate to it straight away.
Fraser is absolutely correct that people relate to struggle posts or rags to riches stories a lot easier than they relate to success stories. This is because people naturally gravitate towards narratives in which the unlikely hero triumphs against all odds. Everyone faces struggles in their life, and in a way, we derive a lot of meaning and find our purpose through overcoming our individual obstacles. MLMs push their reps to create a rags to riches story. Sometimes this is called their why statement, because they know people will easily identify with it and therefore be more likely to join their MLM. It's not necessarily always a bad thing to share your journey from struggles to success, but in the case of MLMs, they use these stories to persuade people to invest in a scheme that has been statistically shown to almost always be financially devastating to those who join.
So here's the thing. Congratulations, you're now on Success Land. Well done. Well done, guys. Now what are you going to do? Go on. Jump. It's easy. I did. No. You get off your arse. You walk back over the bridge. You take one of your loser-land friends, and you tell them the story of how you went from loser to legend. Right? Inspiration comes from progression, not perfection. So share how you progressed. Hey, I used to be like you 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. And I found that message. In fact, come here. This is what I found. I found this person here. I added this person. This is what I sent to them. I then did the next step and the next step and the next step. The thing is, when you grab a friend of yours from Loserland, you tell them the first step, find that message. Now, I don't want to speak to strangers. I don't want to do that. What do? You position them on the bridge. Take a few steps back. And you kick them off the bridge.
I like how they just added that sound effect. Like there's one sound effect in the entire speech. I don't know, I find that funny.
You've got to work with the action takers and forget the action fakers. Forget them. Forget them. So now, guess what? You've just walked across the bridge. Well done. Now you and your friend are there. So what are you going to do? Go on. You go over there and I'll cheer you on. Go on, Bob. Yeah, Bob, you've got this. Yeah, ignore the dance. Don't get sucked into the dance. No. You get your friend and you go back over to Loserland and you show your friend how to get another friend from Loserland and you get another person from Loserland. And the whole process is you going back and forth from Loserland to Successland, Loserland to Successland, Loserland to Successland. Making sense?
I do have to hand it to Fraser that he is a very entertaining speaker. But when you really analyze what it is that he's saying, it's honestly pretty ridiculous. His entire speech was about how if you're not recruiting or getting new customers, that you're a loser living in loserland, that the way to recruit new people is to go out and make new friends and connect with them with the sole purpose of trying to recruit them, to ignore or discount people's objections to your business opportunity, to purposely craft rags to riches narratives that are relatable so that people will be more likely to join. And then once you've done all of this, use these tactics to go back and find other losers living in loserland and teach them all of the same manipulative recruitment tactics so they can be successful too. The funny thing is, MLMs spend so much time and money trying to convince people that they're legitimate and that they're not an illegal pyramid scheme because they say they have products and don't exclusively focus on recruiting. But at the same time, the MLM industry is riddled with these training seminars where 90% of the talks are all about how to recruit. Eric Worre's GoPro event where Fraser just spoke is one of the largest MLM training events in the world. And guess what it focuses on? Recruiting. The thing when it comes to MLMs or MLM gurus is that you can't take anything they say at face value. Their claims often don't match up with reality, and they use things like doublespeak to hide their true nature. Doublespeak refers to carefully chosen terms that are often ambiguous, can have more than one meaning, or are more palatable or purposely softened. For example, recruiting is often referred to as team building. Poaching new clients is referred to as relationship building, and being at the top of the pyramid is referred to as success land. Fraser routinely engaged in doublespeak while he gave his speech so that the points he made seemed more reasonable than they actually were. But when you really analyze what it is he said, you realize that he's just another eloquent grifter. So I completely forgot to film an outro, so you guys are gonna get some cute footage of Puggles. A huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are the best. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell. Follow me on Twitter at the Antibot. Follow me on Instagram at TaylorLee_1993. Consider pledging to my Patreon, and I'll see you all on the next one.